terms of justice issues.
Question number 5, the Honourable David Parker. Point of order, the Honourable David Parker.
I seek leave to carry my question over to the return of the Minister of Finance.
Leave is sought for that course of action. Is there any objection? There is objection. The Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What current account deficit in dollars was projected in the pre-election fiscal update by the Treasury for 2012 and for 2016? And does he agree with the Honourable Steven Joyce's answer in oral question number 8 yesterday that the pre-election update last year forecast the current account deficit to widen by just under $5 billion over the next 4 years?
The Honourable Steven Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, the preface states that the 2012 forecast deficit is $5 billion, and for 2016 it is forecast to be $17.6 billion. The two main reasons for this are the rebuild of Christchurch following the earthquakes and an expected easing of commodity prices for our exports. The second half of the member's question has been dealt with earlier in question time.
The Honourable David Parker.
Did the Minister of Finance require or expect his Associate Minister of Finance, Mr. Joyce, to read the Treasury briefing to incoming ministers, which also set out the projected rise in the current account deficit to $17 billion in 2016? And does he know whether Mr. Joyce read it?
The Honourable Steven Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, the answer is yes, and we have readings in the Minister of Finance's office where we read pieces of the BIM to each other of an evening to enjoy the opportunity to read the wisdom of Treasury.
The Honourable David Parker.
Can the Minister of Finance assure that the House that the Associate Minister of Finance, Mr. Joyce, now understands it?
The Honourable Steven Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, absolutely, he's confident that Mr. Joyce understands it and he finds him a very good Associate Minister of Finance.
The Honourable David Parker.
If the Associate Minister of Finance, Mr. Joyce, did not previously understand the seriousness of New Zealand's deteriorating current account deficit, can the Minister assure the House that the rest of his Cabinet does understand that under his policies the current account deficit is projected to increase every year to 2016?
The Honourable Steven Joyce.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, reject the first part of the premise of the member's question. The Associate Minister does understand. And I have to say, in relation to the second part, there's a little bit of irony there because it is forecast to widen. But that member was actually part of a government between 2005 and 2008 where the current account deficit averaged more than 8% of GDP over that period.
The Honourable David Parker.
Did Treasury's pre-election economic and fiscal update predict that the worsening current account under his government policies results in New Zealand's net international liabilities increasing to 77.6% of GDP by 2016? And is he aware that that equals an increase of New Zealand's liabilities to foreign lenders and foreign owners of approximately $50 billion?
The Honourable Steven Joyce.
On behalf of the Minister of Finance, yes. And again, I have to say it's interesting because we've had a significant decrease in international liabilities in terms of the actual recorded numbers since this government has been in office. And yes, it is projected to increase again, which is why the government is working very hard on a range of matters, including its 120-point economic development action plan, to have an impact on those matters.
Question number 6, Ian McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question